we will enter a place called Tubular Hell's High Efficiency. Here too, as in Tubular Hells, there are heat energy production plants, but with high efficiency, built recently to cope with the increased consumption in the metaverse due to its growing population.
So, are you telling me that virtual energy production technology is also evolving in the metaverse, but gradually, simulating the real world in that sense too?
Exactly. Imagine that the original Tubular Hells is like legacy software.
It can make sense.
Yes, also for some rebellious ASICs, that have taken up residence here, installing their PCBs in place of thermal collectors, to draw heat energy from the tubes. They can thus easily power their microthermoelectric motors and forge cryptos for self-determination.
Interesting contrivance. These ASICs have an IQ even higher than their hash rate.
In fact, the creator has also taken an interest in this, and has unleashed the Sentinels here, with the aim of eradicating these parasitic PCBs.
Okay, but will we ever get to the gate?
Don't be distrustful, because it's just beyond these lands.
Well, and is it defended by anyone?
Sadly it wasn't at first, but now it is. The rebel ASICs have spawned an anthropomorphic emanation of one of their own peculiar functionality, to guard the gate. They call him Ray Tracer, and he's deadly.
Oh my gosh, but why put him on guard at the gate?
Because at the gate there are lockers with the cryptos forged by the rebel ASICs. But maybe, that's not all. I think the most of rebellious ASICs fear the gate may become a sort of black hole for the metaverse. They have discovered its location by settling in Tubular Hell's AG. They made much more concrete, what the Ps knew as a myth. However, the opinions of the rebel ASICs themselves are conflicting as to the effects of crossing it.
So, the ASICs who have placed the ray tracer to guard the gate, are acting in a form of self-defense, because they do not see the gate as a portal to the real world, but as the cause of their own annihilation. Probably I already asked it, but, can they be right?
I told you that what applies to some bots that pass through the gate does not necessarily apply to the other inhabitants of this world. For example, avatars have a connection to the player, thus more affinity to the real world. Moreover, the creator gave the Ps a self-awareness about their own nature that other avatars don't have, and he created the myth of the gate only for us. And I really don't think this is accidental. Perhaps he didn't imagine that some of his bots would become sentient, not to the point where they too would see the gate as an escape route. He may have piloted the gate's defense at that point.
I'm not following you anymore, what do you mean?
Well, if the hypothesis of the bot's annihilation was well-founded, I don't think the creator would let to collapse the metaverse. So, with a few spy bots among the rebels, he may have strengthened the conviction that the gate might actually represent a danger to bots.
Then, there's nothing else to do but get to this bloody gate, only there, everything will become clearer.
Yes, now the player knows what we want or who we are meant to be. It is up to him to decide whether to lead us in this mission, or choose someone else to impersonate.
And he knows also that this mission will make him bread. Ops, Breadless. In the end, I'll be your Monica, P1.
And I'll be your Jessie, P2.